Sorry, guys. Come on in, guys. Welcome back to ADP Art Creations. How are you guys doing today? I know it's shocking that ADP is up here early, but Casey is taking a nap. So I said, let me go ahead because I know I had scheduled it for 4:45. But we are going to celebrate Chamique Holdsclaw before we get into the holidays, right? So let me start off by talking about who she is. We'll tap into everything, and yeah, sit back and enjoy the ride. Put your comments in the chat. Let's keep it moving. This is Shamika Holdsclaw Day, and we're going to celebrate her and her accomplishments and what she worked through to get to those accomplishments, and how she is still speaking out today. Okay, so let's see. So, Shamika Holdsclaw was born August 9th, 1977. She's a WNBA former professional basketball player. She announced her retirement from the Los Angeles Sparks on June 11, 2007. Through Though she eventually came out of retirement to play with the Atlanta Dream for the 2009 WNBA season, Holdsclaw was inducted into the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame in 2015 and the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2018. Let's talk a little bit about her college career. I'm going to touch on her college career, and I'm going to touch on her WNBA career, and then we're going to go into why she matters. Why does Shamika Holdsclaw matter? We'll tap into all that next. But first, I want to bring to you her college career at the University of Tennessee. Okay, let's get into it. So Holdsclaw went to the University of Tennessee from 1995 to 1999, where she played under Coach Pat Summitt and helped to lead the Lady Vols to the Women's NCAA's first ever three consecutive women's basketball championship in 1996, in 1997, and in 1998. In 1998, the championship, Tennessee's first ever undefeated season, was 39-0, and also set an NCAA record for the most wins ever in a season. She also helped lead Tennessee to two set regular season titles in 1998 and 1999, and to three set tournament championships in 1996, 1998, and 1999. At Tennessee, Holdsclaw was a four-time Kodak All-American, one of the only six women basketball players to earn the honor, alongside with teammate Tamika Catchings, Cheryl Miller of USC, Ann Myers of UCLA, and Lynette Woodard of Kansas, and Latoya Thomas, Mississippi State. Holdsclaw finished her career with 3,025 points and 1,295 rebounds. Check her out, right? She was not playing, guys. She already started at Tennessee. Okay, let's finish up. Making her the all time leading scorer and rebounder at Tennessee in men's women's history, and the all time leading scorer, rebounder in the NCAA tournament women's history with 470 points and 197 rebounds. She was also the fifth women's basketball player in NCAA history to have 3,000 points. Wow. She is also one of the five collegiate basketball players to ever accumulate women basketball players to ever accumulate over 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 300 assists, 300 steals. A list that includes teammate Tamika Catchings, Cheryl Miller, Sophia Young, Baylor, and you have some other ones as well. Holdsclaw received the James E. Sullivan Award as top amateur athlete in the United States. Holdsclaw also won the Naismith Trophy for Player of the Year twice, in 1998 and 1999, and posted a 131 to 17 win loss record during her remarkable career as a Lady Val in 2000. She was named Naismith's Player of the Century for the 1990s and was also part of the EPSI Award given to the Lady Vows as co-team of the decade for 1990s. In 1996, 1997, and 1998, Holdsclaw was named to the Final Four All-Tournament team. In 2006, Holdsclaw was named a women's collegiate basketball silver anniversary team for being picked as one of the 25 greatest players of the past 25 years. She was also picked as one of 5 greatest players in the set of the past 25 years. Listen, you guys can think what you want to think about Chamique Holdsclaw. You can live in her past and try to play her for her mistakes. But one thing you can't deny is her skills, her career, and her will to fight back and still make a difference in today's world. When some may have tried to write her off, she didn't let that in her story. So I wanted to tap into that because I know it's a lot of Tennessee heads out there. You know what I'm saying? So I know they greatly appreciate that. She is also a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority too, aka as well. We're gonna tap into her WNBA career. Um, Also, I want to highlight her accomplishments. Okay, so the teams that she played for, um, some of the teams she played for, she was a part of the Sharks, but she also played for the Washington Mystics, Los Angeles Sparks, Atlanta Dream, San Antonio Silver Stars, Southern Lady Generals. So those are some of the career history for us on the teams that she played for, and I'll get into more of her highlights. Hey, big girl, how you doing, girl? Come on in here, sit back, and listen to me talk about Chamique. Okay, so that was Chamique's college year. That was some of her career history. We're gonna tap into her highlights as we tap into the WNBA career part of Chamique, and then I'm gonna let you listen to Chamique herself. These are the things that we're going to cover. Why she matters. Why do some take her out of the GOAT question? Um, how has she changed the game today? And then we'll just top it off with what she's doing now and how, her mistake turned into something that will help people as the years continue to go by. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't know why this is trying to act up, but okay, let me see what's going on. Sorry, my little. I don't know what. Okay, we back in business. Me in charge of fighting today, guys. But okay, so let's talk about her WNBA career, and then we'll talk about her accomplishments. Okay, so in 1999 WNBA draft, Holdsclaw was selected by the Washington Mystics first overall. After this selection, Holdsclaw gained distinction of being I guess I will go ahead and mention this and I'll tap back on it. She was the first female athlete to appear on the cover of Slam magazine. Furthermore, Holdsclaw was pictured on the New York Knicks jersey, implying that perhaps she was good enough to play in the NBA. In her first season, she was named Rookie of the Year, the first number 1 draft pick to win the honor. She also was a starter in the inaugural WNBA All-Star game that same year. She averaged 16.9 points, 7.9 rebounds per game in her first season. The next year, Holdsclaw was named to the Olympic team, helping them lead to a gold medal. Check that out in her rookie season, right? During her season in the WNBA, Holdsclaw continued to improve her numbers. In 2002, despite missing several games with the ankle injury, Holdsclaw averaged a double-double per game with 19.9 points, 11.5 rebounds. By 2003, she was averaging 20.5 points and 10.9 rebounds per game. On July 24th, 2004, however, she failed to show up for a game against Charlotte and played one more game in reserve and then did not play the rest of the season, including the entire playoffs. On March 21st, 2005, Holdsclaw was traded to the Los Angeles Sparks in exchange for, okay, somebody I'm going to talk about soon, guys, Delisha Milton Jones. In May 2006, Holdsclaw took a sudden 2-week leave from playing for the Sparks, but later clarified this was due to the serious illness of her father and stepfather. As of late June, she was averaging 14.4 points per game and 7 rebounds per game. On July 11th, 2007, only a few weeks into the 2007 WNBA season, she surprisingly announced she was retiring and did not immediately provide any explanation as to her sudden departure. On December 17, 2008, the Atlanta Dream traded the 13th pick in the 2009 WNBA draft to the Los Angeles Sparks in exchange for the rights to Holdsclaw. Holdsclaw stated she definitely considered returning to the WNBA if healthy, and did. Holdsclaw was a constant part of the team's offense and a starter that season, despite an injury that kept her out several games toward the end of the season. However, she returned just in time for one more game in the playoffs. The Dream lost to the Detroit Shock. On May 19th, 2010, she was released from the Dream after requesting a trade and did not report to the team. 2 days later, she was signed with the San Antonio Stars. So, this is giving you guys a brief description. Who is Chamique? What were some of the goals that she accomplished from Tennessee to the W? Her awards and honors is like a map, but I'll just list some of them. You guys can go back and check out all her accomplishments. But 1997, she had the Naismith College Player of the Year. 1997, Associate Press Women's College Basketball Player of the Year. 1997 USBA AA Women's National Player of the Year, winner of the Honda Sports Award for basketball. All this is 1997. WBCA Player of the Year, 1998 Naismith College Player of the Year Award, Associate Press Women's College Basketball Player of the Year, USBAA Women's National Player of the Year, winner of Honda Sports Award for basketball, and also WBCA Player of the Year. This is from 1997, 1998, right? And so in 2015, she was inducted into the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame. 2018, inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. 2025, she was inducted into Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. So, okay. Why did she retire? I think it was more due to her mental health at the time. She was in and out of, the reason why she was missing in different parts of her career was due to the time that she took out for her mental health. I think it's very important that we include that in this episode because it plays a major part of why she's speaking out today. We know that Chamique has, had several incidents in her past that resulted in, her pleading guilty on some assault charges or whatever and stuff like that. We also know that she deals with, bipolar. She deals with bipolar. Her parents also had dealt with bipolar as well. It's clinical depression that she deals with, anxiety, and bipolar disorder. She struggled while playing at her highest level, and she also felt pressure to hide her pain because of the expectations placed on her. So, she dealt with a lot that tied into that retirement. So we're going to go and we're going to hear from Chamique Holdsclaw herself, because when it comes to people speaking out about their mental health and their journey in basketball, what other person to do it but themselves. I can be a voice outside of Chamique, but you would want to hear it coming from Chamique herself. So let's tap into that. This video is from Knoxville News. It says Chamique Holdsclaw talks about her time in the WNBA. It's knoxnews.com. So this snippet is from them, and you can hear Chamique talking her own voice. And guys, and it's great. It's great to hear that.
Well, as many of you know, life goes on. And I went to pro basketball. But when I stepped into pro basketball, it was exciting. I had just signed like the biggest endorsement deal with Nike for a female basketball player, with Gatorade, with Nickelodeon. All these companies wanted me. Coach Summit, the last thing she said to me is, I wish you well. Make sure you get your grandmother a house. It was exciting. They were proud of me. You know, I gave this university everything that I had. And then I go to pro basketball and talk about inconsistency. I played 6 years in DC. I had a new coach every year. I couldn't just get on balance. Even though I had some great seasons leading the league and scoring and rebounding, it was just a new philosophy, a new thing every year. Also, I had to manage, coming to my own. Here, I was a broke college student. Now I have money. Now I have to think about balancing things. I have to think about real life situations. And luckily, Coach Summit, she connected me with her attorney who was actually in DC. Her book agent, the law firm that represented them, she connected me with them, and they, kind of like helped guide me along the way. But still, it was a lot for me to handle. And then something really bad happened. I lost my grandmother. And people don't understand, like when I lost my grandmother, I'm getting choked up here. When I lost my grandmother, it changed my life. It just knocked me down, and I struggled. Basketball, from the day I found out I was good and I enjoyed it, became my coping mechanism. It became my medicine. I struggled when I was younger with adjusting from being taken out of my parents' household and put into my grandmother's. But when I found basketball, it's like I can go outside on that court in the projects, and it eliminated all my worries. Even when I was going through stuff here in Tennessee, we were winning championships. You forget about all the other stuff. But here I was. Yeah, I was playing well, but it was just like no consistency within the organization. I lost my grandmother, and I got really, really depressed. People didn't understand. People called me crazy, an enigma, lost, all these things. And the whole time in the back of my head, I'm like, that's not who I am, and constantly reminding myself, I'm not who they said I am. It broke me. So me being young and not knowing how to handle situations, because, you've always kind of been ushered as an athlete, you're ushered along, especially when you're good. You don't worry about anything. There's always someone to do something for you. And this was the first time where I had to look Chamique in the mirror. Well, guess what? What I saw in the mirror wasn't great. And I sat there and I battled with this thing, this demon, in silence. And finally, I realized that no longer was basketball my medicine, and I had to step away. And I know you all have heard the story. Chamique, she's kind of lost it. She stepped away from the game. But then me being a people pleaser and always wanting to satisfy others, I'm like, man, you know what? I can't go out like this. I got to fight back. So I did it another time, and I came back. And this was when I was in LA. And I realized I couldn't do it no more, because I sat in my apartment in LA and overdosed on my brain medication and basically tried to commit suicide. And there I was in that hospital. All the people that was there rooting for me, nobody was there. It was just me and a friend that I called last minute as my cry for help, who rushed me to the hospital. And during my stay there, is one thing that really touched me. The doctor came to me, he says, Chamique Holdsclaw, I don't know anything about women's basketball. He said, I probably couldn't even name 3 players, but he's like, I know you. And he goes, I just wish you the best. He goes, because everybody looks at what you did. Yeah, you could have died, but you could have had a seizure. You could have lost your hearing, your sight. I suffered through the worst night of my life. Only thing I could think about, I had hallucinations, was this cowboy with a lasso chasing me. No, it's not funny. The cowboy was coming and my heart rate is going up and I'm just crying and crying and crying. I vomited on my friend. I'm like, don't call my mother. I don't want her to worry. Please don't call anybody. And I dealt with it that night myself. And that's when I realized, my life was just more important than basketball. And I took some time off, 2 years. Then I decided, you know what, I feel at peace. I found the balance on my medication or whatever. I want to give it another shot because I'm not a quitter. I want to give it another shot. And I did just that. I came back to play for Atlanta and things are going great. I finally opened up about what I was struggling about because see, the thing that I learned is when you don't tell people what's going on, especially in media, they're going to make up stuff. So I've heard I had Lou Gehrig's disease. I was pregnant. I was a lot of things. But when I came out, I was frank, I was candid, and I was honest. And when I sat down with Kelly Anderson from Sports Illustrated, I told her my struggles. I told her what really happened and what really went on. And from that time on, that's when I began to heal. See, when you keep stuff like inside, it festers, it builds up. But as soon as you get it off your shoulders, it was like the rebirth of Chamique. I started to really live again. Well, guess what? I have another downfall. It's 2010. I'm playing, having a great year. I tear my Achilles. I'm like, boy, when it rains, it pours. It really does.
Yeah, guys. So that's
New
sorry.
Hug Fit 360 waistband versus a soccer ball. Will it stretch?
Okay. So this is kind of giving you guys an idea of let me stop sharing that. Okay. This kind of gave you guys an idea coming from Chamique's mouth of how she dealt with things and you know she was able to come out with about how she is a fighter. Yeah, she mentioned she liked to, please people or whatever, but you yourself have to make the choice to fight. And she chose to fight despite what she was going through. Hold on guys for a second. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I'm back now. But yeah, so it gives you a kind of feel of, you know, Shamika Holdsclaw's character, far as being a fighter, far as, why she didn't give up, why she took her breaks, and how the media till this day still paints pictures of different stories and not allow the players to talk. This is why I wanted you guys to hear from her mouth as well as me, celebrating her and, telling a little bit of her testimony. So let's tap into um, why does Shamika Holdsclaw matter? For one, she's one of the greatest women basketball players of all time. Two, she showed her butt off at Tennessee, didn't she? She did not come to play. She slayed that the whole time she was there. Um, and she played under the great Pat Summit. She's known for her versatility, her scoring, her rebounding, and her defense, and her basketball IQ. So it leads us to the next question: how her dominance changed the expectation for women's basketball. Well, first, she was the first woman on the cover of Slam magazine. Two, her famous nickname was the female Jordan. And three, her college success at Tennessee, with three straight titles, and we already talked about the rest of her accomplishments for Tennessee in the beginning. And also, she's a great advocate for mental health still today. This is somebody, guys, that they tried to slowly write off. They tried to write her off. But because she was a fighter, because she believed in herself, she kept fighting. She took the time out. At least she took the time out to say, hey, I need a breather. I need to handle this. And during that time, you are told to sleep stuff under the rug. You are told this is if you speak out, it's not normal. People are gonna think, that you're crazy or this, that, and the third when you discuss your mental health. Everybody is no person perfect on this world, and everybody has experienced something to a certain degree. But sometimes in different cultures, sweep it under the rug, keep moving, dry your tears up, let's go. You know what I'm saying? We don't have time to discuss your personal feelings. We don't have time to discuss what you're going through. Let's go. Especially sometimes when you are a professional basketball player and an athlete, this is some of the stuff that they deal with today. They still, some are learning. I think that Chamique opened up the door, and Chamique and so many others too. But I'm talking about Chamique for today. She opened up the doors to me for others. As we can see, others start coming out as the years went by. They started coming out talking about their mental health, talking about the struggles as being, WNBA players or whatever. The on and off the court stuff, the stuff we'll never know, some of the stuff we do know. She to me started the blueprint of players being open about it. And you got to remember, if you're on that number one draft, what is the world expecting you to do? You got to imagine that is a lot in itself on a player in itself, because I can't fail these people. I can look. I can't give up. I got to play better than I was playing in college. I got to make sure I hold up to the standards because everybody's watching, everybody's looking. You know what I'm saying? I can't show so many emotions because that means I'm a wreck or I'm out of order. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm expressing my feelings. But she said, forget all that. I'm gonna be able to express my feelings. I chose to address the world and tell them about my mental health. And remember, if you go more detail in Chamique Holdsclaw's story, she also dealt with people from the church, her family, and everybody saying, no, sleeping on the road, oh, nothing wrong with you. And some places, some churches, not all guys, not all of them, but some, I've heard people in the past say, hey, it's nothing wrong with you. You're okay. That's nothing. That's a sin. Just different stuff that, people deal with when they're trying to discuss their mental health and, have a way of escape. But all this does not take away from Chamique's Holdsclaw career, her accomplishments, her what she set out to do. She was able to do it. She could have did more, but it's all about timing and what you're placed to do. So as she finishes her career, she also get to tap into being an advocate to show others, hey, I went through this, and guess what? You still can keep on pushing. You still can keep on moving. You still can be that athlete, but don't hold it all inside because after you hold stuff all inside, it begins to bust or whatever. So I wanted to talk that's concerning her mental health, that's concerning her breaking, her silence, as she dealt with, the struggles while playing at the highest level, you know, and how it shows her maturity, how mature she was to do that. Because anything that you constantly are doing or thinking about or whatever, it's a habit. And guys, we know habits are hard to break. So for her to be dealing with all of this stuff and willing to find ways to deal with it, not everybody wants to find ways to deal with it, or not everybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what level, what situation you're in. So I want to tap into this question of asking you guys, chat. Do you think that if Chamique Holdsclaw was a different, was her race was different, do you think the way um that everything went down would have been dealt differently? Do you feel like her being a black woman in the WNBA is going through her mental health, doing what she has to do to take care of that? Do you think if she was another color, would it be a whole different scenario? Because I would have to say, for me, I would have to say yes. It would have been a whole different, it would have been a whole different scenario on, you know what I'm saying, the way it would have been talked about, the way it would have been handled, because you are listed, when you come out and you talk about stuff like this, angry, like she said, angry, you know mean, crazy, all kinds of stuff that you could be, that could be thrown your way or whatever and stuff like that. So I think, she was one of the first elite athletes, especially a black woman, to speak openly about mental health. What did it do? It helped change conversations in sports around vulnerability, therapy, medication, athlete well-being. Um, so this plays a part in the different cultures, that we deal with her being able to express stuff in the media, how they paint different pictures or whatever, far as her, far as mental health. um and also, I wanted to, let's see if I can pull up, because I also want to be able, um to see if I can pull up some of her highlights so that you guys can see, what type of player, Chamique was and how she played. Listen, guys, in order, you know how I do, in order to understand the player, you have to understand who they are and what they deal with. And yes, she did make mistakes, but she's already apologized. She's already, learned from her mistakes, and she kept it moving. She kept fighting, for herself. People can come help you fight, but you have to be the one to say, "I'm gonna fight for me," and that's exactly what she did. And I hate that the goat conversation is, like, when you're talking about the goat conversation of why, she probably, was out of that goat conversation, far as dealing with, what I'm saying, dealing with her, mental health and stuff like that. So, they'll say that played a part, far as dealing with her mental health. They'll say, they also said, like, her going in and out of game, her taking time off to deal with her mental health probably played a role in it. They also said that her season, if she had a played longer, it may have made a difference, far as, the GOAT conversation. But I don't, for me, I feel like, and she didn't win a chip. She didn't win a chip either. So they also said some of those things could have played, a role in her not, not getting that name like that or whatever and stuff like that, or not being the GOAT. But to me, I feel like Chamique Holdsclaw is a GOAT because she accomplished so many things. First woman on Slam, all through her college career. She dominated in college. She dominated in the WNBA. She in her rookie season, first round pick. She, you know what I'm saying? They get a gold. So which chip are we talking about? Because to me, if you get a gold, you get, look, that's good too. But I know, like, a lot of leagues and everybody talk about, winning chips. Well, hey, what? So does that not count? Because the goal is something else. That's a great accomplishment to accomplish, and she did that. And so to me, I wouldn't take her out of the GOAT conversation. She is one of the GOATs, as we have many GOATs in the WNBA. And this is just my opinion of Chamique Holdsclaw. The reason why I think, Chamique Holdsclaw is a remarkable player is because she was able to fight. She was a fighter. She didn't give up. You know what I'm saying? Even through adversity, she still kept standing. Her accomplishments, going through all that. And let me tell you, when you lose a loved one, when you lose, parents, grandparents, your own child, Man, guys, that's a lifetime of grief. It's a lifetime of grief that you will constantly have to deal with. Does it get better? I'm not going to tell you it gets better. It doesn't get better. What it does for me, like for me losing Caden Bear, is that um, it got because for me, because I have God in my life for me. That's how I'm able to continue to deal with it and it not hit as hard. But if you ask me today what happened, I can remember that story from front to back, just like it happened yesterday. So it's all about your surroundings, of who you have around you. I mean, I was blessed. So it's all about your surroundings, and it's all about, hey, sometimes you gotta exit man out, and you gotta. That's when your faith really gotta come in, and that's when my faith really came in. So it's tough. We continue to deal with it, and the fact that she, you know, what I'm saying, continue to deal with it, and kept it moving. Man, that's amazing. That's what makes a goat to me. A goat should not just be about a chip. A goat should be the overall legacy that you leave for the American people. And I think that Holdsclaw just was one of those players. Even with her testimony, even with her, if you go back and research too, she said something like her grandmother, she had wrote a note. And you know, grandma's so used to keeping stuff. You know, you'd be surprised. They're so used to keeping stuff. And the fact that her grandmother kept a letter saying that she gave to her grandmother saying that she wanted to play in the NBA. At the time, she was young, and she wanted to play in the NBA. That says a lot. That says a lot about someone who are aware of their purpose. Do we have perfect careers or perfect purposes? No, we don't. You know what I'm saying? But the key fact is, if we keep fighting like a Chamique Holdsclaw, whether it's sports or outside of sports, guess what? Great things are happening. And I think that by her being outspoken, by her being a vet of the game, because listen, yes, we have great players now, but the foundation had to start with these vets. We got to start putting out um, we have to start putting out videos, drop the shorts, drop the comments on the flashbacks of the vets, because the vets should never be forgotten, because they are the foundation, they are the starters of our Angel Reese, our Asia Wilsons, and so many more. This is where it starts. We can go back to all of our WNBA vets. You know what I'm saying? Each person has played a role. Nobody is left out. Every person that played on a WNBA basketball team has paved the way for others. And when you come to um, talking about your basketball players, you got to be familiar of their character. So being able to release, hey, this is my character, this is how I was, this is, what I'm saying, not everything is for everybody, and not everything is meant for everybody to know just because I'm an athlete. But hey, let you guys hear the truth coming from my mouth. Am I taking accountability? Yes, she did. She took accountability because she pled guilty to it or whatever. But sometimes America will live in your past. They will forever live in your past. Well, guess what? She set the foundation like, you're not going to live in my past. You're going to live with me from my past, present, and future. You're going to be with me every step of the way with what I want you to know. And check this out. Yeah, they try to play a WNBA, Adam. I ain't even gonna call you out like that, but it is what it is. They try to play a little bit, but guess what? Guess who paid for her to be able to go out and speak to the different places, the different foundations, the different organizations, and different kids and all that. When she stopped playing in the WNBA, they paid for her to be able to. They paid for her to be able to go speak out about what she went through. You tell me that ain't a legacy. You tell me that don't show character. You know what I'm saying? And realize, because they had to realize sometimes in life, people do all that rah-rah, they do all that talking until they actually have to experience it themselves. And then they got a close mouth. Of course, you got a closed mouth because you judge too quick. You judge unfairly, and you judge too quick. Am I saying what she did was right? No, but hey, we live and we learn from our mistakes, and she didn't let that stop her from playing ball. Do you know that I have my daughter's bestie, but I call my daughter's bestie. I call my daughter too. She called me mom or whatever and stuff like beautiful guys, beautiful young lady, or whatever and stuff like that. And you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. You know what I'm saying? Different things don't show through your beauty. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it doesn't even show through your character, but because we know we're close to her, you know what I'm saying? We know that, bipolar is something that she deals with. And let me tell you, they don't want to, they are very nervous about it. They're scared to be, diagnosed with stuff like that. But it's the role that you play. You know what I'm saying? It's the role that you play in their lives to keep them confident, to keep them pushing to say, hey, we're gonna stick by you. Some are more severe than others. So it's not her situation is not severe or whatever. But she deals with. Do we love her any different? Nope. No, we don't. You know what I'm saying? So and it's a lot. It took a lot for her to be able to come out with it. But guess what? When you don't have no problem with going to get the help that you need, it hits different. When you're able to do that. And like I said, some people are not able to do that. So yeah, they can say what they want about Chamique. They can try to play her, but she to this day, look, she got a beautiful she's married, she has beautiful two kids. Her kids are young. Her daughter just turned 4 years old. I think they're like 4 and 5 or 4 and 6 or something like that. Because I follow her on IG, but even with following her, she's still dropping gems. She's enjoying her life, and to have a partner to help you deal with. She talks about how she deals with it to this day, how she learned to do different things to help her with it. That shows you this woman is a firefighter. She fought all through. Look, Tennessee. She showed us what she was working with. She come to the WNBA. She show us what she's working with. She comes back after taking leave, and this is what I'm saying. I don't think the GOAT conversation should be taken away because somebody takes leave to handle their mental health. What you want them to do? Do it on the court? Like, come on, people. Sometimes you gotta meet people. You gotta meet the players halfway. They need to get it out. I understand in this world we have money over people, but sometimes that money over people gets to be tired. It's starting to wear out now. People are able to realize they're able to speak out, especially our WNBA players. That and WNBA players, NFL players, all players, and people are starting to speak more out because they're not scared anymore. They're not afraid. They're not afraid to be judged because some will judge and some will not. You know what I'm saying? So I think in that aspect, it makes a difference. So let me see if I can pull up just like a couple of Shamika highlights. I couldn't find her Hall of Fame speech, so I don't know if she. Now I did play when I talked about another vet. I played her talking, um, but she was talking for Pearson. If I think that's who I did. But Shamika herself, I don't see anything on her speech because the way that I like the way that she speaks. She's not boring. She's not a boring speaker. You know what I'm saying? She tells her story so that you could, what I'm saying, you'll be able to kind of visualize everything that a little bit of everything she had to go through. And that was just a snippet of it, or whatever and stuff. So let me see if I can find something. Pat Summit loved her some Shamika. Pat Summit was the one that her coach called to help Shamika during that time when all that stuff was going on. And she credits Pat Summit to this day for help saving her life. And that's what I'm saying. You always have that one person that can get through to you better than anybody else. So let me see if I can find, like, just so you can see what type of hooper Shamika is. Let's see if we can. Okay, this is a. Oh, this a ooh. I can't play that one. That's like a whole hour and some minutes. That was the 1999 All-Star game that she played in. Let me see. Let me look up some highlights of her so you can see how she um how she played. Let's see. Of course they got her Tennessee highlights. Let's see. They got draft film, but sometimes they're so funny acting with this stuff. But if I have to take it out, I'll just take it out. I just want it I just want you guys to kind of see like some of her highlights. And mind you, she played with a lot of greats. Let's see what we got. Let's go back to this and see what we come up with. Okay, I guess we could take it to let's see, let's take it to her college highlights. I think she also has some from Atlanta, the Atlanta Dream. She has some Atlanta Dream highlights or whatever. But we're gonna let's take it to. I always like to do some of the some of their college highlights. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna share. We're gonna show you guys her college highlights. Let me turn this. Skip that. Okay, it doesn't play the volume, so we're just gonna be able to look at it, and I guess I'll turn the volume off, and I'll just let us be able to see how she plays. Let me see if I can go ahead and make it a little bit bigger for you guys to see it. I'm gonna do that. Sorry guys, sometimes it makes you okay. Turn that little ringer off. Okay, I hope you guys can see it a little bit better here. So this is her 19 this is 1999 okay. So my phone is connected to this MacBook, but okay. Anyways, so this is showing some of her game on when she played at Tennessee. You see how she getting through? She ain't got no problem with moving. Her movement. Look how she did that right in front of her like that. You can't tell me she was nothing to be playing with. She in their face. Like move. And alert. It's like she ain't had no fear. She ain't had no fear in getting a job done. Look at that play. Bam. All right. When you hungry like that, like you love the game, you always alert because anything can happen. Wow. Yeah. They can one and the greatest thing is once players establish their name, once they establish who they are to the American people, you can't take that away. It only grows from there. So as she played in college and she represented all through her college years, it came into that WNBA. So she was able to establish a name in the NCAA and she established her name in the WNBA. And then she also continues to establish her name as being a mental health advocate. So why not? Why can't she be the GOAT? Is that what you guys holding against her because she took the time out for mental health? She didn't play out um each season, the full season. But guess what? Look at her career. Like I think the way that they do it should be changed somewhat for us when they deal with mental health. You have to include that because that's the player. You can't take that away from a player going through those changes and doing what they have to do to be a better player. Like who does that? I guess the WNBA do. But yeah, so that was some of Chamique Holdsclaw highlights from Tennessee, and of course you got more highlights from the WNBA. But I just wanted you guys to know, man, I love me so Chamique Holdsclaw. You guys just don't know because I love players um that are firefighters that what I'm saying that don't give up regardless of whatever they got going on, that they fight back. The difference is you see what's going on and you decide to fight back and you fight for your career because yeah, they're holding you up to a standard. Do WNBA players get pressured? Yes. Do they have to go through a lot? Yes. They have to go through a lot through the public eye and they have to go through a lot through their personal life. But even with that, she still holds the crown. She still holds her crown and she speaks out to help others. That's what makes Jamaica a difference maker. That's what to me that she should not be taken out of the GOAT conversation because to me you need to include all of that. You can't just not everybody can go in their rookie season and just go and win a gold like that. You know what I'm saying? And listen, guys, she did all this without having the NIL deals, without doing without doing all that kind of stuff. Um, she was able to do that. She was able to get on the cover of the Slam magazine. You know what I'm saying, and make a difference or whatever. It seems to me for Chamique Holdsclaw, this was in her heart. She always wanted to be a basketball player. I don't know if she estimated how great she was, but yeah, she fought to win those games. Look, guys, to get through Tennessee and win all those championships and everything. You know what I'm saying? So hey, what can you say? And then go into the W and represent, and then say, hey, I'm not done there. What she thought should have ended her life was the beginning of her life again. So when you have second chances, when you're able to have second chances, and you allow those second chances to come to you, this is the type of effect you will see. Someone like Chamique Holdsclaw still holding on, still motivating. You can't take away her basketball skills. You have to give her credit where credit is due. She's not painting out to be some perfect person. She keep it real. She tell you her story. You either like it or you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But it's real. It's coming from her. She's not showing lack of accountability, and she's moving forward. Um, so yeah, I wanted to bring you guys that for my Christmas special celebration for Shamika. I hope I was able to cover cover everything. I don't believe I left anything out. I just, if you want to get the full story, it's going to take us about 2 hours or three, because that's when you get the full breakdown. You put all the film together and stuff like that and really break her life story down. But as podcasters, we have to like shorten it up, keep it real, get to the points, and let you know about the players. And it's important to try to hit everything that you can to allow the people to want to go research Shamika Holdsclaw. So, in closing, I'm gonna say that Shamika Holdsclaw, she didn't just change the game; she changed the conversation, guys. She changed the conversation of, hey, I'm more than a basketball player. Hey, I'm gonna go through stuff, but hey, I'm not gonna give up no matter what you think and all the narratives you paint. I'm still going to be a difference maker through everything. And when you change the conversation, you allow others to release their conversations too. Because if they get it out, guess what? We're going to see a difference in the way they play their game, a difference in the way they held themselves up. How they come to us and show us their off the court stuff. It makes a difference when you change the conversation. So, guys, I want to say thank you for coming on Early Block, because y'all know ADP don't come on no early block. I like my D block, but since Kason is taking a nap, y'all don't hear nothing, do you? No Minecraft right now. So, but I want to wish you guys a great holidays, safe travel. If it, I think somebody's going live tonight, but whoever go live, I'll probably be in there. I am, guys. I am not a professional chef. I'm just saying. I'm waiting on my special treat in the mail one day. Somebody in the chat already know. But I am gonna be baking. Yes, guys. This is the time I love to bake, and we're gonna just have us a good time. I'm gonna relax and sit back and let the kids enjoy themselves. My little Harvest, my grandbaby, she's going out of town for Christmas, but we was able to celebrate everything the weekend. And yeah, she know her glamour don't play. She came by here glamour, put a little change in her little pouch and everything. She all right, and she got her special treats and her gifts and stuff like that. So, we FaceTime. She 3 years old. We FaceTime. And little Case in here, I don't know what he gonna do. He gonna be playing his little Minecraft and everything else, his little robot and stuff that he don't know he got. But um, he'll be around here playing with his stuff, requesting his specialty chicken nuggets and all that great stuff. So we'll cook that to the side, and then me and Colin, I don't know, me and my son, my oldest son, we'll probably, I don't know, I'm gonna be playing chef and Betty Crocker up in there and stuff like that, and we'll see who comes and stuff. His dad already came, because he travels and stuff. So his dad came to celebrate, came to see him for his birthday and stuff like that. So the blessing with Christmas is that for me, we're able to come together, spend time with the family because people off work and stuff like that, and just have a great. No. What, baby? Good morning. Oh, you think it's morning? It's afternoon, but you just got up from your nap. So yeah, we're able to do all these great things. Hey, Casey, come here. You want to tell them? Let's see if I can get him up here. Mumu, come here, come here, come here. Say Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Yeah, he hates headphones, guys, but I hope you heard his shout out Merry Christmas or whatever. He just got up and now he can replay that Minecraft. But guys, enjoy your holidays and I will catch you on the next one. Thank you guys for coming in to the chat today to talk about Chamique. And we'll pick up on our vets and stuff after the holidays. I'll probably drop some small little short videos, but as far as our vets and stuff, we will pick up after the holidays, after Christmas. Okay? Love you guys. And I'll see you in the chat if you're in the chats later and tomorrow. And thank you for stopping in. Peace.